Welcome to the Artreach Gallery and to our fourth in a series of discussions with Diana Lo Mei Hing as we recognize her exhibition at our gallery now, Breathing Tao. And today we're going to be looking at chapter 43 in the Tao Te Ching. We're using a very gifted translation by a man named Derek Lin, and he's given us the opportunity to go ahead and use this translation, so we do freely. I'll read the chapter. It's a short one. The softest things of the world override the hardest things of the world. That which has no substance enters into that which has no openings. From this I know the benefits of non-attached actions. The teaching without words. That's what you've called this particular piece, the teaching without words.
Yes.
Tell me what you think about what does a word do that keeps you from being taught or learning or experiencing?
For first, what is the language? It's a conventional. It's a conventional. It's created by
Yeah,
us.
We
We
agree.
try to have
We agree.
communication,
Yeah.
create a language.
Yeah.
But there's something we never can explain completely with this conventional language. And one time, a student of Lao Tzu is the author of Tao,
The author of the Tao Te Ching.
Yes.
Yeah.
and asked him, what mean Tao? And he said, if I told you what mean Tao, it's not more Tao. So you have to try to observation through the nature, and you can understand what mean. Because it's not the same for everyone, because our experience is very different, depending our age, our where we come from, and so could very different.
So that's one of the strengths of the Tao Te Ching is that it's so full of metaphor
Oh yes.
that opens up possibilities.
Yes.
And the words that are used are not words that are trying to grab you
No.
and shape you and
No.
keep you in form.
Exactly.
But rather they're always there to kind of open up. There's something more.
Yes. And one word can suggest another word, and never you can have a single definition about one action or no action. So the meaning teaching without words is a very John, very open.
Right. Well, one of the things that I know when people have a tendency to look at the clouds, they want to look at them and then they want to say, oh, that looks like a face.
Oh yes.
Or that looks like a mountain or something. But that happens a lot with work that you have created too. We want to find a word that says something that helps us understand. So I look at this particular piece, such a wonderful painting, but there's something in me sometimes that says, oh, a mountain. Oh, it's water.
Oh yes, because I'm living in this earth, so what I see is everyone can see, and I love hiking and the nature. I love the mountains because I feel I can find a lot of silence going through the mountains without any destination, because what you live through the mountain, you can learn a lot of things, and because I was thinking, what mean eternity? Eternity for me is when I touch the rocks, I know is come from many kind of sand, but one side or the other side of this planet through the wind can then the formation about the mountains, saying in the simple way. Of course, it's not so easy. But then I say, how many people cross this mountain and walking like me? Exactly, but maybe 100 years ago, 200 years ago. But I'm touching the rocks and I feel, oh, I feel you. We are together. And this is mean
Yeah,
the eternity.
right. Because you've somehow become aware of things that have before, even as you're aware of things that are way years to come,
Oh, yeah.
and you don't know who's going to
Yes,
touch
yeah.
it then.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And so this kind of work that you have done is an attempt to get at that expression and maybe the experience of something that is the eternal beyond the word that you might want to call it.
Yeah.
And that's part of what I love. You say it's a teaching without words.
Yes.
Come on, touch it.
Yeah. Yes.
Just
Because,
let go.
Because if you study on the book and then when you have finished, you have memorized all the things, and then after that, then finish. You can forget with the time. But if you read the book, you learn the book, and then you go outside, that part is more important because then you can find what you are studying on the writing. Because if you can't find something in the reality, you never could remember all you learned on the book. So it's important, the alive learning.
Yes. And I just want to I think you're also suggesting something interesting to me. We have thousands of words. And I think of you, and you're from Italy. You have this Chinese language that's part of you. You have English that's part of you. And you know, there are all these words that are there. But here's this call for teaching without words,
Yes.
which seems to suggest there's something that words don't even know.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Because sometimes you can see we can communication with our eyes, our feeling, our action or not action, more than with the words.
Yeah.
So it's only our experience through the life, a light life, we can learn more than with the words. Of course, if I have to tell you something particular, specific, I have to speak your language. Otherwise, we cannot have the communication.
Oh, we do have a few things we need to understand.
Yes.
But that wonder and that I think that's one of the beauties of this particular piece to me, is that you allow me to say, Sheldon, be aware of things we don't know anything about, would you? And that's a wonder.
But why I chose this kind of life, become a painter, because many times also when I was a teenager, they say, why you want to study this? It's a very difficult job, because how you can live doing only this. But with the art, you can speak not 1, 2, 3 language. This is a universal language.
Yeah.
So everyone watching can understand. Of course, not for the same meaning for everyone, but it's just communication. It's much better than speaking.
Well, I love what we have been able to do together, which has been to look at your art, but also to consider some of the ideas in the Tao Te Ching
Oh yes.
that open up possibilities.
Yes. Yes.
And
Also for me.
Yeah.
because I still have to learn. I still have to experiment.
You mean you can go back to the Tao Te Ching and think about things you didn't think about before?
Oh yes, because it's something you have to read, and every time you reread the book, and then you say, "Oh, I didn't understand," or the particular thing. Oh, now I understand.
And that's one of the great beauties of what I think we've been about in these sessions is to look at your art, see that there are things beyond it that it's suggesting, and then reading bits of the Tao, and then you come to a point where it says the teaching without words, and I guess we can say the teachings without color, the teachings without line, and yet when we have them, they open up all kinds of possibilities too.
Yeah, sure.
This has been great sharing with you. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the risk that we can be together and kind of think about some things that we don't ordinarily talk about and discover the richness of a writing that's so ancient and of your work that is so recent and yet the life that we open up to because of both.
No, I have to thank to you because this was for a long time. I want to have an opportunity to, because I find Taoism is a great thing because can open many doors and can learn many new things. It's writing more than 2,500 years ago, but still is very present. Is never will.
Well, you know, I'm glad that you've been here. I sure hope that more and more people are able to come to our gallery, spend some time, wear your mask,
Yeah.
keep your distance, but join us if you will, and we'll love to have you come and be a part of the show. And thank you again very much for being able to discuss all of this together.
I thank you. I thank you to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.